What's going on, guys, and welcome to Formula 7 Racing. We are live here in Tier 1. Power Chuan, your race winner from last week in Zandvoort, is first on track. That win was kept by the Dutchman as well at his home Grand Prix, so fantastic result. And hopefully he can extend that winning run here this evening in Monza. Who's getting pole? What's going on, Jim? How are we doing, Dennis? Pole, I think, is going to be really close this evening. So, Power Chuan to stars off. Yeah, no worries, Epic. How come you didn't do it before you entered the lobby? Maybe you might have had issues, I don't know. So, down in towards Rettifilo. Out of turn 2, around Curva Grande at turn 3 for the Kicksauber driver, out on the mediums. And with it being a sprint race, you have to be extra careful with the tyre compounds. Down in towards Rogia at turn 3. Sorry, that is turn... Yeah, turn 3, Curva Grande is turn 2. Down in towards the Lesmos at turn 4 and 5. Over the apex, takes a huge chunk of that. And now he's got a car in front of him, and he's going to get a huge slipstream from the driver in front. Has he seen him? He has. He gave him a huge tow. That was his teammate of Jeffy Boy, giving him a massive tow. Through Ascari at turn 8 and down towards Parabolica. I know, my too. I knew that Lesmos were 4 and 5, so that's when I thought, wait, Curva Grande can't be turn 3. I don't even think I've got Lucas as a driver, so I need to add him. I'll just put European Union for now. So, Power Chuan went fastest, but Joshua Bear took it off him and went up to P1 in the Mercedes. Darrell Slater in the Williams is in P3, and Banana is in P4. Banana potentially moving down after this evening's race. Reese on an outlap, and that is Asbill, the American in the McLaren, goes fastest, and he goes into provisional pole for the sprint race. We do have the other McLaren of Hackmore coming down towards the line. I've sent you a couple, Epic. I need to concentrate now. You're not even showing online now. I just sent you 2 and now you've gone offline. So, a couple of drivers to the line. Lethal Strike on his debut. Who is Dr. Comic? Who is that? I have no idea who that is. Ryan Clemenson goes fastest in the Aston Martin. Epic OJ is back in. So Reese in the Mercedes goes provisional pole for this sprint race. No, that's what I mean, Madge. I have no idea who they are. Was it Lucas? Is that his name, Lucas? Might have to restart after qualifying. I don't know who that is. So Reese is on at provisional pole. Lethal Strike on his debut is on an out lap, and he will start his flying lap in that Haas. So down towards the start finish line as we head towards Retafilo at turn 1. Around turn 1 and 2. Sorry, turn 1 and then through turn 2 at Curva Grande. Keeping it nice and tight to the apex. Sorry, it's just thrown me off. That just completely threw me off. Into Roger. Yeah, I've just looked in the paddock now. I don't know why somebody who's not even done their time trials has just jumped in a tier 1 race. This isn't, you know, a little league that you can just jump in. That's really frustrating. Right, Lethal Strike down towards Parabolica. And then around turn 9 and 10, down towards line, and Lethal Strike on his debut goes P8. That is a fantastic lap. A 1:18.7 Mirko in that Scuderia Ferrari has invalidated it, so he's not going to be able to set a lap. It might be Lucas. His name might be Lucas. I know Lucas joined, I think. Ryan Clemenson trying to get some heat into them tyres as he's just weaving around. So there's no driver currently on a lap. As Lethal Strike on his debut. That's a pretty decent lap for his debut. To come in as a reserve. And then all the drivers on outlaps. I think it will be Doktar in the Alpine that will be next. Or Doctor. So Doctor coming through the start finish line up towards Retafilo. Right, yeah, I've seen the message, Mad G. Really, if it is Lucas, he has been in the server a while and he has been voted into reserve, but I didn't know he hadn't sent his time trials, but we'll see how it goes. So Doctor down towards Roger out of Curva Grande, and then he'll hug the apex to the left and right. Nicely done over there for the Alpine driver, and then in towards the Lesmos at turn 4 and 5, and he just runs it wide. Kells Beaton says Banana to win. Yeah, if we were in tier 4. So out of the Lesmos through Seraglio at turn 6 and down towards Ascari, and the Alpine man seems to be having some pace here. Through the Lesmo, through Ascari. No, I wish, Alvaro, I wish. So, down towards Parabolica. Picks up a little toe there off of McLaren, who's just travelling a bit slowly. Down in towards Parabolica and the Alpine driver. This should be a pretty decent lap from Dr. Comic. And he is P4 4. 5-place grid penalty for Power Chuan. Your race winner from last week has got a 5-place grid penalty. What has happened there? Hackmore in the McLaren is down in P8. He's only half a second off the pole position. Epic OJ in the Red Bull will be next. Down in towards Parabolica. Dr. Comic has retired. Pamphnis has just come out. Yeah, I think that. And Epic OJ goes fastest. I don't like the fact that he's just retired on track, though, did he? Yeah, he just retired. He just did his qualifying and then retired on track with absolutely zero consideration of any other driver. Come on, guys. If you're going to reserve, that's fine, but don't just retire on track when everybody's on their final runs. So the McLaren of Hackmore will be next. He's 2 tenths down on his lap time as we head into Parabolica for Hackmore. It is currently Reese who went even faster for provisional pole here in this sprint race. So up towards the line goes Hackmore, and he will stay P10. Then we do have the Ferrari of Mirko next. At his home Grand Prix goes P3. Mirko in his home car, raising that Italian flag, goes up to P3. Banana will be next in the Alpine, and he will stay in P16. Who else is going to improve? Deadly in the Aston Martin doesn't improve. Ryan Clemenson in the other Aston Martin has invalidated it. Epic OJ has already done his lap, so it will be Reese that takes pole here in Monza. So Mercedes of Reese on pole. And you got Epic OJ, Merc, Ryan Clemenson, Asbel, Deco, Fanos, Dr. Comic, Joshua Bear. Then not Red Wildfire in the Aston, that is Deadly. Then Power Chuan, Dennis, P13 is the Haas of Lethal Strike. And then that is it, yeah. Two seconds, guys. So, we head out on our formation lap. I can see this being a really competitive race. No, Lucas is in, so it isn't Lucas. So, yeah, very annoying. Exactly how, bro. So Lucas and Dr. Comic will make, and Lethal Strike will all make their debut this evening. So hopefully they have a good debut here in Monza. Thanos was really quick there in P7, sorry, just behind his teammate. So Williams looking strong around the Temple of Speed. We are near the end of our formation lap. So they all line up for round 13 in this sprint race around Monza. Fanth disconnected, I think. Didn't even set a lap time. Massive in the championship. So here we are, this is it for Tier 1, powered by Sim Racing Setups. And it is lights out and away we go. Down towards turn 1. Reese did get a good start. Mirko in the Ferrari also got a brilliant start as he goes wheel to wheel with Epic OJ in the Red Bull. Down towards Rettifilo at turn 1. The Red Bull and the Ferrari go side by side. The Williams tags the Red Bull in towards turn 1. He loses a bit of time and there's a pile up at the back. That is Bradders, Joshua Bear. And that is Joshua Bear in the Mercedes that is round. Fanfnis is at the back of the track. But it is Reese with a clear getaway. Mirko trails him. Ryan Clemenson is up into the podiums. Epic OJ is down 2 places and out of the podiums. Thanos is up 2, Asbill down 2, and then you got Power Twan and Jeffy Boy. Power Twan with the time penalty for cutting the corner, but he's up to P10, but now down to P11 as Banana in the Alpine goes through and picks up the pieces. So Fanfordus a 10-second time penalty. I'm not sure what's going on with Fanford. So Reese in the Mercedes does lead to Mirko in P2 at his home Grand Prix. That is Lucas down to P17 in the Haas as he spins it. And not a great debut sprint for him on the opening lap. And Fanfnis does retire from the sprint race. And that is Dr. Comic that does go through up the inside of Lethal Strike. Lethal Strike will come back at him. Wheel to wheel with the Alpine, the Haas driver who's got the straight line speed as they chase down the Red Bull. They nearly tangle. They're going to go 3 wide. The Red Bull has got the straight line speed now as well. Here comes Bradders in the Racing Bull down in towards Rettifilo at turn 1. Wheel to wheel go the Red Bull and the Alpine. But it is Theo Tineland in the Red Bull that comes out just in front of them. And Bradders up the inside makes a move. And in front of Dr. Comic goes the Racing Bull. Oh, that is Power Twan back through on the Alpine. They leave each other space. Good racing from the pair of them. And Banana having a really good opening to this sprint race. Hackmore down to P9. Fanfnis, that is huge points lost in the championship fight. Lethal Strike will go up the inside. Oh, and he tags Dr. Comic. Dr. Comic and Lethal Strike are round. Reese 4 attempts clear. And Mirko is starting to catch him now. Remember that DRS will kick in. Reese picks up the fastest lap. Now here comes Ryan Clemenson into the slipstream of that Ferrari, and that is Asbill that is through on Thanos. And the Williams driver can do nothing to stop the Papaya McLaren going up to P6. And that is Deadly through on Lethal Strike. And the Aston Martin driver, Lethal Strike was back down the inside. Oh my God. And Joshua Bear goes through as well. Lethal Strike tried to get on the brake pedal, couldn't find it, and went flying through. Now the Mercedes will try and make a move around the outside of Lethal Strike, the Mercedes and the Haas. As we head in towards the Roger, you can see them in the distance. The Mercedes just moves back over to get the racing line. And through Roger we go, slipping and sliding. But it is Joshua Bear that comes out in front. Dr. Comic with the time penalty. And that is Theo Townland on Banana. Through Seraglio down towards Ascari. And Theo is up to P11. Through turn 7 and 8. Right, what about Ryan Clemenson and Mirko now as they chase down the leader? And surely into the slipstream the Ferrari goes. This is on for him. And Reese doing his best to get the defensive racing line. And he does really well there, Reese. And Mirko just backs out. It would be something for Mirko to get a race victory here in Monza. And Asbil coming out of Retafilo. And around Curva Grande, Darrell Slater is still just edging ahead. And then Fanos behind. Bradders is all over Theo Townland, the Swedish driver, and in towards Rogia. The Racing Bull will go down the inside, and the Red Bull comes back at him. Theo and Bradders are going at it. Nothing to separate them. And that is Jeffy Boy that is through on Fanos, and so is Hackmore as we head in towards Ascari. And Fanos losing a couple of positions. That is Ryan Clemenson out. Ryan Clemenson's out. He's binned it coming round Parabolica. That is quite remarkable. And look at his car, just sparks coming off it. And Ryan Clemenson is out, and Reese and Mirko are going at it for round 2. Mirko did get his nose ahead briefly. What about Bradders? Oh, and Theo, and Bradders goes up the inside of the Red Bull, the Racing Bull. And that is Joshua Bear through on Lethal Strike. And now he will try to attack Banana in front. Banana having a great tier 1 race. There goes Bradders once again on the sister car. And the Racing Bull! Wow! Banana goes clattering into Bradders. And surely that is damage for the Alpine as they go in towards the Lesmos. And now Lethal Strike will come up the inside of turn 5. He does go through, and Banana will just have to back out. And does the Alpine driver have damage? He doesn't. Well, it doesn't look like it. Can Mirko save that DRS? You can see all the action unfolding behind. So Mirko 8 tenths behind Reese. Banana on the back of Deadly. Up towards turn 1. Epic OJ is closing the gap on Asbil, who's into the podium places after 6 laps. But now back comes Epic OJ. He's going to go later on the brakes. Up the inside of Asbil, they do collide. Asbil is back through. Darrell Slater is also through. And he might even now get into the podiums. He just slots in behind the McLaren. Jeffy Boy is through. The Sauber driver on the Red Bull as we go in towards turn 4. And I'm not sure whose fault that was until the stewards get involved. But Asbil now 2.5 seconds off Mirko and Reese, who are in a league of their own this evening, as Dennis called it. And Hackmore in the McLaren, going around the outside. He's off the track and has to pull out, and then Fanos is up his tail. Theo Townland was going to try and make an optimistic move there on Bradders, but he's thought better of it. Darrell Slater is in P4 and he's on for a podium, the Williams driver. Jeffy Boy now. Remember, they're locked in that DRS train, but they're going to make the moves on Asbil, and the Sauber driver is going to go for it as well. He does. Asbil tries to leave the space up the inside of turn 1, and they do tangle wheels once again. That is Hackmore, that is Fanos that is losing time. Hackmore, Epic OJ getting very acquainted with each other. Asbel will come around Curva Grande and back in front of Daryl Slater in towards Roger, turns in. Daryl Slater has to back out ever so slightly, gets a good exit, and Jeffy Boy just trails him as we go up towards turn 4 and 5 once more. But Mirko still only 9 tenths behind Reese for the lead of this sprint race. Epic OJ is back through on that McLaren. DRS is so strong round here. Jeffy Boy and Daryl Slater. Daryl Slater going slightly off track through Ascari. And just about gets away with that one. Epic OJ on Jeffy Boy. And there goes the McLaren up the inside of Parabolica, and he's going to get a 2-for-1 deal, the McLaren. He gets the Sauber, and now he's going for the Red Bull. And Hackmore is starting to find his rhythm as they chase down Daryl Slater with that rear wing open. Epic OJ late on the brakes, and that is phenomenal racing. Remember, Epic OJ is on the harder compound, so is Hackmore. Daryl Slater on their mediums, so they will start to feel the pain of their mediums shortly. No, they've had a coming together. Hackmore and Daryl Slater have had a coming together, and off the track they go. Fanos is round. The Williams driver of Fanos is round. Jeffy Boy is into the gravel. And it was only a matter of time. The racing was so... I can't even explain it. The racing is just so hard. Why do you need to go that hard? So Power Twan goes wide, and through goes Daryl Slater. And Hackmore is now up to P5, but he has that kick Sauber chasing him down. Mirko is now 1.7 behind Reese as they go on to the final lap of the Monza Grand Prix. And it looks like Reese might have this in the bag. So DRS kicks in once more. Hackmore will chase down Epic OJ for the final time before we can cool off in the qualifying session. So wheel to wheel through Rettifilo at turn 1. Hackmore and Power Twan still going at it. Epic OJ's managed to just pull off a little bit and peel away. Joshua Bear into P9. That is 2 points on the board. Daryl Slater and Bradders are there. And it's extremely competitive between the grid. And that is Fanos and Jeffy Boy going at it for round maybe 4 or 5 at this point. And Fanos is just behind. Banana picking up that 3-second time penalty. Lucas and Dr. Comic at the back of the grid. Hey Nimble, that'd be so good making a replica of that. Here comes Reese down in towards Parabolica. And Reese, the current Tier 1 World Champion, will come through to take the race victory in the sprint race. Mirko at his home Grand Prix takes P2. Asbel will take P3. And Power Twan and Epic OJ are battling for P4. The wheel to wheel. Who's going to get it first? Down towards the line. The Red Bull just inches ahead, and it is Epic OJ that takes P4. Hackmore in P5. Bradders, and that is Lethal Strike that's lost it coming through Parabolica. Here comes Deadly on Theo. Wow. Really close racing. So that is it for the sprint. So it is Reese. I need to write these stats down. Sorry, guys. So it is Reese that wins the sprint. Mirko takes P2, Asbel in P3. Epic OJ, Dennis, Deco, Power Twan and Bradders. And Mercedes in P9 of Joshua Bear. Then you've got P10 of Todd Joe. P11 is Deadly. Then you've got Jeffrey Boy Thanos. P14 is the Haas of Lethal Strike. And then you've got the Haas in P16, which is Lucas. And then Dr. Comic, Ryan Clemenson, and Fanfinus. Oh, looks a bit murky out there. So, Lethal Strike on a lap, so is Asbill. Theo was the first driver to set a lap here in qualifying. And Theo Tarnland coming in towards Parabolica. So up towards the line, and it's a 192 for Theo Tarnland, a great lap. Lethal Strike did invalidate it. What about Asbill as he heads through Seraglio down towards Ascari? And we will see what Asbill can do with 14 minutes of this qualifying session remaining. Asbill with a 1:18.7 in the Papaya McLaren. And then we have Dr. Comet coming for a Ascari in the Alpine, keeps it valid. As we head towards Parabolica, on board with the Finnish driver. Up towards the line we go, and Dr. Comet goes fastest, a 1:18.6. The Aston Martin of Deadly, I think, will be next. It is, and he starts his flying lap. And then a couple more drivers coming through. That is Theo that goes back into the pit lane. And the Haas driver, I think, of Lethal Strike, who did invalidate it. No, he's on a flying lap now. Around Parabolica, and Lethal Strike just struggling there. He's definitely got the pace here, Lethal Strike, but it's just trying to keep hold of that Haas car. And Lethal Strike goes up to P3 at 1:19.0 for him. And then the Racing Bull of Bradders that is invalidated, and he goes back into the pit lane. And Asbel will also go back in. There is a kicked Sauber of Jeffy Boy on an outlap, so we'll see what he can do here in this qualifying session. And his teammate of Powertran just moving out of the way as he goes in towards Retafilo. Out of turn one, and that is his teammate that's giving him a tow around Curva Grande. And Powertran giving a huge tow to Jeffy Boy. Will that help him out as he goes in towards Roger? Over the apex, invalidates it. All of that effort for nothing, and now he'll have to return the favour. So, Powertran and Jeffy Boy not making it work this time. What about Darryl Slater, who had a great sprint race up until the collision? So Darryl Slater around the double Lesmos. And then out of turn 5 towards Seraglio, and the Williams driver with that rear wing open, DRS enabled here at the Temple of Speed as we go in towards the Ascari. And the Williams man with a very crisp entrance and exit to Ascari there. That was really nice to watch. Great to be on board with him as well. And Darryl Slater putting down a bit of a statement here this evening. He's not been up there for quite a few races, but Monza seems to be a real good track for him, and up to P3 he goes a 1:18.7, 2 attempts separate the top 4. Well, it did until Ryan Clemenson come through in the Aston Martin and took provisional pole with 10 minutes remaining. We do have the Mercedes of Reese. He will be looking for absolutely maximum points here this evening. Joshua Bear will be first though, and Joshua Bear goes P7. Reese will be looking for absolute maximum points, knowing that Fanfinus didn't get any points in the sprint, and his championship rival of B-Right is away on a holiday. If I was B-Right, I'd have took it with me. So here comes Mirko in the Ferrari, got P2 in the sprint, takes P1 in the qualifying session, and Hatmore takes it off him. So where has that pace come from? And Hatmore in the McLaren goes up to P1. Jeffy Boy and Powertran, both the Saubers, living Sauber-esque as they both invalidate their times. Reese is on an outlap, so is Bradders and Epic OJ. Fanfinus in the Ferrari is back in his car, so he will be looking to get as many points as possible in the feature race, because the championship is definitely heating up in Tier 1. I mean, as it stands now... Oh, it won't actually tell me the standings. Oh, what's going on? Why does it say we're in realistic? Oh, it's all messed up. 1 second, guys. Those were unrealistic. I don't know what's going on there. So Fanfinis will start his flying lap. Right, we're back on board with tier 1. Oh, there it is. Jeez, I thought none of the stats had gone on then. So we are on board. Sorry, I'm just trying to sort this out. So at the moment, these are live standings. Reese will be 38 points behind B, right? And if he wins the feature race, he will be 8 points behind. Team standings are very close as well, but Ferrari are dominating at the moment. So Fanfinis goes up to P6. We've got Thanos, Banana and Jeffy all on outlaps. So Jeffy boy in, that kicks Albert. Sorry guys, I'm trying to, you know what, I've just remembered. I don't have Nimble's here. I've not even done the other app at all. I always forget about it because I have to input all the data on there. Oh, I always forget, I'm sorry. I don't even think I did it last week. I've completely even forgot about that one. So Jeffy boy down towards Parabolica. It takes so much bloody concentration and updating on this one during the race that I just forget about that one to load it up on my phone, and then I'm trying to... Oh, it's a nightmare. Jeffy boy goes up to P13. Thanos in the Williams will be next as he comes through Seraglio at turn 6. Down towards Ascari. And it is purple sector 2 for Thanos. How would you say that? Thanos, Sanos. So the Greek driver to the line goes P7. Cheers, Alvaro. So that is P7 for Thanos. As every time I say his name, it just reminds me of Thanos, like, and I just feel like making like comments like, and at the snap of his fingers, you know what I mean, like, or he's, and that's one Infinity Stone down, 4 to go, you know. Oh god, that's what I think of every time I say his name, and I'm trying to tie in a joke, and I'm trying to tie in a bit of play with it, you know. Like Banana, oh, and he slips like he's slipping on a peel, you know. Like, you got to try and play with the names. Lethal strike with a lethal overtake. So Thanos going up to P7. We've got 2 outlaps, Dr. Comic and Deadly. Deadly in the Aston Martin will be first as we head in towards Parabolica. Yeah, we catch so much action now as well, which is so good. Like, Pele back, Pele front, yes. Yeah, since we started clipping on Twitch, it is so much easier to capture live action on Twitch. So much easier. So, previously, right, so to run Formula 7, I think, subscriptions-wise, we pay stupid, silly money, really. But anyway, but then we would pay for Canva for posts, we would pay for CapCut for editing, and so we can put all the videos in ultra high definition. But then I would go through the stream afterwards, I would screen record from my phone, get all the race clips and all that, which would take about 2 hours for each tier. I would go onto CapCut, edit each one of them, put them in high definition and upload them to each individual social platform. With Twitch now, and it uploads in pretty high definition, pretty good quality, which is amazing for us. But I snip it, so you get two videos, so one where it's a close-up and one where it's sort of outwards, and you can clip the video on Twitch and upload it directly to Twitch stories, to TikTok, to Instagram, to YouTube, and then from Instagram I just press share with Facebook and Threads as well. It is so much easier. So from literally clipping on Twitch, I can share to every single platform with a click of a button. It's so much easier. It probably saves me about 4 hours every Sunday, because I used to spend hours clipping, and then we get to put so much more out. Yeah, it's a lot better. I love the clipping feature on Twitch. I wish I'd have known sooner. So, Ryan Clemenson is slightly up on his lap time, 1 minute and 30 to go here in qualifying for the feature race. And he just rides the gravel ever so slightly out of Roger in towards the Lesmos at turn 4 and 5. Yeah, exactly, Alvaro. Amazing, isn't it? Like, it's so good. And it just gives the drivers a platform to race on. Like, it's so good to share so many videos of you guys, and you guys to be able to look back and go, yeah. And then we're uploading all the races now to YouTube into playlists. I've just started messing around with Twitch all afternoon to see if I can create collections on there, which I have done, and put thumbnails on them and everything. Yeah. So yeah, it's going really well. The league is going really well, and the community is amazing. It always has been. So Ryan Clemenson up towards the line in the Aston Martin, goes P2, a 1:17.9. The Aston Martin is on the provisional front row. Thanos did invalidate, but it was only an outlap. Dr. Comic has retired. He will participate no more in this qualifying session, but he has retired on track again. Thanos, Powertrain, please, come on, man, you've got to speak to him. He can't do that. He can't just retire on track when everybody's doing their final runs in qualifying. He did it in the sprint as well. Come on, man. What on earth possesses someone to go, you know what? I've finished my qualifying, so I'm just going to retire on track and let everyone else carry on. Like, what if somebody crashes into you or something? So Joshua Bear is coming through into Ascari, down towards Parabolica. Lethal Strike in the Haas is just behind him, but the Mercedes will hit the line first. Reese goes faster, a 1:17.6. Epic OJ with a 1:17.7. Merkel with a 1:17.9. And Joshua Bear with a 1:18.3. Goes up to P8. Fanfinus has invalidated it. Thanos has invalidated it. Powertrain is on a lap. Asbil in the McLaren goes up to P7 and just behind his teammate. Brilliant stuff from him. Thanos will have to back out. Jeffy Boy is improving. Banana is coming through Ascari. He's 3 tenths up, so he will hit the line just before Jeffy Boy does. But at the moment, it looks like Reese is going to take pole position. Bradders down in P15 says he gives up. I hope not. Keeps invalidating his lap. It's a tough circuit to qualify on, Bradders. Here comes Banana, the Scotsman, up towards the line. Will he improve his position at 18? He does, up to P17. What about Jeffy Boy in the kick Sauber? To the line we go, and Jeffy Boy takes P14. Powertrain, I don't know if he's improving or not. Up towards the line we go. Powertrain goes into P11, and Ryan Clemenson into the pits. Reese takes pole again. Epic OJ will start on the front row. It is the exact same 1-2 that was in the sprint. It's the exact same 1, 2, 3 actually. I wonder if Merkel will get Epic OJ going in towards turn 1 again. So Reese takes pole for the feature race. I just need to put these stats down. So Reese takes pole, Epic OJ in P2, Merkel in P3, Ryan Clemenson in P4, Deadly in P5, Dennis in P6, Asbel in P7, Deco in P8, the Mercedes of Joshua Bear in P9. Then P10 in the Haas is Lethal Strike. What a qualifying session that is on his debut feature race. Then comes Powertran, Fanfinus, Fanos, Jeffrey Boy, Dr. Comet, Bradders, Banana, Tojo and Lucas. Race time. So we are into the race. Be right, a three-time world champion watching from the sidelines. I hope you're enjoying the break though, mate. So remember guys, in the chat you can get some sim racing setups using the link below. I will try and sort it out because I think it's supposed to get a discount off them, but I'll have a look. Fanatec, we don't get a discount off them, but we get 5% of any purchase made. So if you are looking to make a purchase of any Fanatec gear, we will receive 5% of whatever you spend back, and that can just be pumped back into giveaways or free equipment or the league. So yeah, thank you very much. So here we go, everybody tuning in, buckle your seatbelts. We are going to go racing. Tyres, wow, Theo is on the softs, you are absolutely right. So for the final time today, we go racing here in Monza as Lucas is the final driver to queue up. And then off we go for the Tier 1 division here in Monza, Italy. Oh, it's done that thing because the last driver took so long to get to the line, yeah. Guys, I'm sorry, we're going to have to restart. That is so annoying. Oh, it's done that thing where it won't even let me leave now. Oh. If everyone starts to leave, it might kick me out so I can start it again so I don't have to end the stream. Yeah, it always happens if somebody takes really long to queue up into the grid, it glitches the lobby. What I need to get I need to get the grid order. Right, 1 minute. I don't even know what's going on here. I'm just trying to get out of the lobby. I'm hoping when everybody leaves it just ends the race so I can go back. So I just need Doctor or Lucas, one of them, to end the race. There we go. And it should. I might be able to get back to the lobby. And then I don't have to restart the stream, because that's the last thing I want to end the stream, because then I have to upload 2 separate races. I need to try and delete that now, because that's the data that it caught as well. Alright, 1 second. That's annoying. There we go. Right, please get me back to the lobby so we can start again. Guys, when we're going round, please line up as quick as possible into your normal grid spots, because otherwise it just glitches. I knew what it was going to do as well when I seen that last car coming round. I knew it was about to glitch. Right, there we go. Remember your setups, guys. We will not restart for somebody forgetting their setup. Somebody can just put a tag out as well. It's not the formation lap, Dennis. It's if somebody comes around and takes a really long time to line up, which the Haas did, it glitches the lobby, but only obviously now and then. You have to really take an extremely long time for it to happen. So it was clear, weren't it? Yes, formation light will be on. Anthony's has left. Why has he done that? Come on, guys. Right, who are we waiting on? Epic old Jane Anthony. Remember your setups as well. Right, come on, guys. Right, it's gonna why is there somebody in Thanos' car? Lucas, you're in the wrong car. I don't even know his tag. Right, just waiting for Epic OJ. We need to hurry up though. Come on, Epic. Remember your setups, guys. Oh. Making sure everything's on the right thing. Just really get the colour in and everything. We're literally waiting on Epic OJ. He's not racing. Right, okay, let's go. Ready up. Right, no problem, guys. Right, back into the race. God, we was on bloody 30 viewers then. I've gone down to 19 just because of that restart. I'm sure a few people will come back to watch the good race. Very annoying though. Please remember your setups. Please remember your setups, guys. Remember setups. We will not restart. Here we go. As the drivers go around for their formation lap. And then we are going to go racing. We are back connected. All the systems are back up and running. So Reese wasting no time getting round the track, same as Mirko and then Ryan Clemenson, but there's a bit of gap between Bradley. PSQ for Power Tramp. Bobby looks a bit better now. So they all line up. Nana and Theo will be the final two. Here we go as they all line up in their boxes. And for round 14, here at Formula 7 Racing, powered by Sim Racing Setups, it is lights out and away we go. Reese got another great start as Mirko slots in behind him, but now here comes Ryan Clemenson in the Aston Martin to go wheel to wheel with that Ferrari as we go in towards Rettifilo at turn 1. There's a Ferrari off the track there. The Scuderia is into the runoff area. Fanfurness, that is Hackmore. There is Fanfurness that is tumbling down the grid. And Fanfurness a 10-second time penalty. The Williams goes wheel to wheel with the McLaren. You've got Joshua Bear in the Mercedes trying to catch up to them. And the Aston Martin of Deadly will go at the inside of Roger. And that is Power Twan through on Darrell Slater, the Williams and the Sauber tangle up and have a battle of their own there, and there's somebody else off the track, and that was Bernardo into the wall. He's had a huge collision with Lucas, and Fanfurness is out of the Grand Prix. The championship contender is out here in Monza. Bradders with a 10-second time penalty for a collision that might get taken off, but it is carnage at the start. Reese a second clear of Mirko. Yellow flags are still waving, all the drivers being extra careful. So that is Bradders that goes into the pit lane to get rid of his 10-second. That's Banana. Banana's crashed it, I think. And Dr. Comic is in as well. Dr. Comic retires in the pit lane, calls it a day in his debut. DRS is now enabled. Diggo racing once more, and Mirko 1.2 behind Reese. Look at Ryan Clemenson and Hackmore. Hackmore up to P4. And Asbill in the other Papaya McLaren. Joshua Bear Deadly on Fanos going up the inside of Roger and leaves in the space. Great racing from the Williams. And Deadly tries to get a good exit. It was a VSC, thanks Albro. And Bradders does retire from the Grand Prix. That VSC would have helped Banana and Bradders with the pit stop, but 3 DNFs at the start of this feature race is not what you want to see. And there's always so many opportunities to get back into a race. It's a real shame. So Reese leads. Only 15 drivers remain on the grid. Hopefully we can sort of calm it down a bit now and get back to the racing action. That is Power Twan in the Sauber, has made a mistake through Parabolica. Lethal Strike being overtaken by Jeffy Boy. Can he return the favour as they go up towards turn 1 at Rettifilo? But they've all got DRS now into turn 1. Lethal Strike trying to nick up the inside of the kick Sauber. Good racing from the Haas and the Sauber driver. Theo Tyneland is there. Ryan Clemenson chasing down Mirko. Remember, Mirko doesn't have DRS on the race leader of Reese. If Reese wins this Grand Prix, he will be 8 points off the lead of this championship, with B Wright not being here this evening. B Wright, out of the 12 races that he's been a part of this season, he's finished in the top 5 12 times. And Reese in the top 5 8 times, but with 6 race victories. So that is why there is only 38 points that separate them, but it is B Wright that leads. Bradders leaves the session. That is Joshua Bear in the Mercedes being overtaken by Darrell Slater in the Williams in towards Ascari. Mirko with that time penalty. Here comes Hackmore and Ryan Clemenson, and they will both have DRS. The Ferrari is going to be a bit of a sitting duck here. He might even be overtaken by both of the drivers behind. So Ryan Clemenson will be first to attack, then it will be Hackmore. That is Lethal Strike that is through on Jeffy Boy and Power Twan as well. Lethal, that was Jeffy Boy's mistake. Here comes Hackmore and Ryan Clemenson. They do back out, they think better of it, and they're going to have to be patient here on Mirko at his home Grand Prix. Joshua Bear went for a move on Darrell Slater and he pulled out. There goes Jeffy Boy and Theo Tyneland. Jeffy Boy in the Sauber is through and up to P12, but the Red Bull driver will have to respond to it. Lucas in the Haas in P14. Banana just doing his thing at the back. But I'm sure, as I said previously, this might be his final race in Tier 1. I've got to admit, and I've got to be completely honest, as all of you guys know that I am a very honest person, and I'll speak my mind. I don't think Banana is Tier 1. I do believe that he would be best suited in Tier 2. Lucas picking up a time penalty. Ryan Clemenson into Ascari. Hackmore just behind him. This is good racing now. They're getting into the rhythm. Merkel only 1.2 behind Reese after lap 4. Let's have a look at the tyres. So Merkel's on the hards. That's actually a really good strategy. He's only 1 second behind Reese, but he's on the longer tyre compound. The longer that he can stay with Reese on the mediums, the better it is for him. Doctor tried taking out 3 drivers and took out Fam. Tried taking out Banana. Salute. I will have a look at that. This is why I don't like people who've never raced here racing here straight away. But there is people that backed him apparently and said, you know, they'll vouch for him. So we'll see. Asbill just on the back of his teammate. Asbill's a phenomenal driver and a phenomenal person. We don't allow it, Salute. They invited him to the bloody race. But we'll take a look at it afterwards. There's a strict no, you can't come in unless you've been in the server for a while and you've posted your time trials. So Mirko is starting to catch up to Reese now. Like the idea of hards on Mirko, yeah, definitely. And Reese's mediums are already on 42%. Mirko is starting to catch up to him, you know. I think we'll see a lot of drivers in Tier 1 maybe go for that 2-stopper this evening. So Mirko will get that DRS on Reese. Here we go. No, I thought it was Lucas. That's why I didn't kick him. Mirko into the slipstream of Reese, the Ferrari driver, in towards turn 1. The Scuderia and the Mercedes go wheel to wheel into Rettifilo. The Mercedes gets the better exit, but the Ferrari is challenging for the lead of the Grand Prix. His home Grand Prix. I know we've said many times this evening, but I love it when a driver is at the home Grand Prix around Curva Grande, down towards Della Roggia. The Mercedes locks up. What about Ryan Clemenson on Hackmore? Hackmore has a little snap of the rears as we head in towards the Lesmos. Mirko looking very quick on them hards. What about Thanos and Daryl Slater also on the hards? The Scuderia into the slipstream we go as we head towards Ascari, and the Ferrari pulls back. He's being patient, he's being clever about this, but he gets a really bad entrance into Ascari. That is lethal strike that is through on Joshua Bear. What an overtake for the Haas driver. A lethal overtake from the Haas. That is the Williams. So Mirko 6 tenths behind Reese after that poor exit out of Ascari. And here comes Mirko now. DRS is wide open and Reese will try and cover off the inside line like he did last lap. Very Max Verstappen-esque. Wheel to wheel in towards turn 1 at Rettifilo. The Mercedes and the Ferrari, nothing to separate them. The Ferrari is in front here in Monza. Reese is down to P2, but he's going to come back at him around Curva Grande. And there's nothing to separate these two phenomenal drivers here in Italy. Mirko will go later on the brakes around the outside of Della Roggia. He's off the track, and I'm pretty sure he'll get a penalty. He doesn't, so he slowed down enough and gave the position. That is Thanos on Asbill in towards the Lesmos, and the Williams driver is through on the Papaya McLaren. Thanos, remember, on them hard compounds, the strategies are starting to pay off. Mirko with that DRS enabled went through, and he is now back in front of Reese. This is a very tasty Grand Prix, and that is deadly in the Aston Martin. Off the track, Daryl Slater on the hard compounds as well, so keep an eye on him. Let's have a look. What are the tyres? 60% for Reese on their mediums, 40% for the hards of Mirko. But Reese has that DRS now, and this will help him out quite a lot to keep a very speedy medium compound run down towards Retafilo at turn 1, and he is back into the lead. Hackmore and Ryan Clemenson are next. Lethal Strike and Jeffy Boy going for the undercut in Monza. Mirko has got so much more grip when he comes out of the chicane, around Curva Grande, into the slipstream of the Mercedes. He pulls out to the left, and I'm pretty sure he won't go for a move here. Down in towards Stella Roger. It is the world champion that stays in front. Power Twan is through on Lethal Strike and Jeffy Boy. Theo Tarnland, 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane and with tyres. So Mirko in the Ferrari with the DRS enabled through Seraglio. Down towards Ascari again, and I'm pretty sure he'll be a patient man in that Ferrari. He knows that Reese is there for the taking. And their mediums now 65%. Ryan Clemenson has looked after his mediums quite well. They're only 59%. Even though there's only 6% difference, that could mean a hell of a lot come the end of this Grand Prix. But if you were going for 2 stops, surely you'd just go for the undercut on both sessions. And tell you what, Reese got a really good exit out of Parabolica. And there goes Asbil on Fanos. And he's not going to get through. Jeffy Boy picks up a time penalty. Daryl Slater through on Deadly into turn 1. It's Williams 6-7 as he goes through on the Aston Martin. But we stay on board with the leaders. This is where the battle is happening. Fanos does have slight front wing damage as well. So even though he's on that different strategy, he does have wing damage. So Mirko into Ascari behind Reese still. Reese is doing a cracking job on them old mediums to keep Mirko behind. So in towards Parabolica when now the medium runner's going to pit. That is Mirko that's round. The Ferrari driver on the hard compound slips it through Parabolica, and oh my goodness, how did he keep hold of that? He is down to P8, but he's still in the DRS trade. But he did a phenomenal job holding on to that Ferrari car. He will come back at Deadly in the Aston Martin and back up to P7. The recovery drive after that mistake is now on. Joshua Bear is into the pit lane. Ryan Clemenson is outside of the DRS range of Reese. And then Hackmore. And look at this now. Fanos going wheel to wheel with Asbil. Down in towards Della Rocha, and that is brilliant from the pair of them. Mirko Krokop, I love it. The Croatian throwing in leg kicks around Parabolica. So Fanos into the slipstream of Asbil as they head towards Seraglio, but Asbil does have DRS as well. And Fanos hits the back of Asbil. They go in towards Parabolica. He goes later on the brakes. Asbil has to go out wide. And there's a couple of snaps there. The drivers are struggling on these tyres. Reese is into the pit lane. So this is where the drivers start to pit. I'm trying to catch up to see what is going on. Daryl Slater is on the back of Asbil, who chases down Fanos, who chases down Hackmore, all in that DRS train. Reese, where will he come out in all of this? Mirko is on into the pits as well. Mirko has pitted off the hards at the same time that Reese has pitted off the mediums. That is not what Mirko would have wanted at this point in the Grand Prix. It really isn't. So Reese came out in front of Powertwan, but with 7 seconds of clear air in front of him. That is just what the world champion wanted. Yeah, probably Han Solo, you're right. That is Thanos that goes into the lead of the Grand Prix. Through Ascari, the Williams is through, and now here comes Darrell Slater, the other Williams, on the Belgium driver. And Darrell Slater, will he make it? Williams 1-2 on lap 11, down towards Parabolica. Darrell Slater is through, and it is a Williams 1-2. And a McLaren 3-4 as Asbel goes through on Hackmore, who peels off into the pit lane. Oh, wow, and he locked up trying to slow that car down. So Reese now is going to be super quick. Lucas will be next in the Haas going in towards the pit lane. Really nicely done from him. Darrell Slater and Thanos stay out hoping for a safety car at some point so they can move off them hard compounds. But if they got a safety car now, they would be in prime position. You have reached the maximum number of uploads on TikTok. Wow. I've never had that before. We have uploaded a lot today. Jesus. I didn't know they could do that. Lethal Strike is round. Lethal Strike is into the wall coming round the Lesmos. That could have been a safety car. Brian Clemenson is through on Power Twan into Ascari. Yeah, I thought you can upload as much as you want. Who says there's a limit on what you can upload? Do you know what I mean? So, Asbill is into the pit lane now. Yeah, I am just spamming videos to TikTok. So, Reese, 15 seconds behind Darrell Slater and Thanos. And he is in prime position for this Grand Prix win. Lethal Strike is out. And not a good debut for Dr. Comic or Lethal Strike, but still another driver who's having a good debut is Lucas in the Haas. Like, I just find it crazy because how can somebody say no, you can only upload a certain amount of videos? Like, surely you can upload as many as you want. Surely. Yeah, maybe I've uploaded quite a few, but surely you can just upload as many as you want to upload onto that platform. Anyway, here comes Thanos on the back of his teammate. Are they going to work together? They are, Brett. Yeah. I've actually never had that message. I didn't even know that was a thing. So, Deadly is for Joshua Benny. Oh my God, they're into the wall. The Aston Martin and the Mercedes, and it's a safety car. I cannot believe this. It's a safety car, but the two Williams wiggle in frustration, but they will go, not even in frustration, they're past the safety car, they wiggle in excitement. They are going to go into the pit lane and get on their mediums in the lead of this Grand Prix. They cannot believe their luck. So all the other drivers go into the pit lane, and will they go back on to hard compounds? No, back onto mediums. Powertwan, Mirko, Hackmore, Jeffy, Deadly and Joshua Bear all onto the hards. Joshua Bear getting that front wing fixed, but my goodness, Crashgate, that is literally Crashgate. Where's Flavio Briatore when you need him? It'd be good if it was an Alpine involved, wouldn't it? Or a McLaren. Mercedes, McLaren, was it? A Renault, that was it. It was Renault. Darrell Slater with a 3-second time penalty. Oh, he's cut the corner under a safety car. Ryan Clemenson is only on 3-lap-old hard, so he's just going to stay out. Lucas is on 2-lap-old mediums. Lucas' strategy is brilliant here. Toto, it's called motor racing. Ryan Clemenson does stay out. Ryan Clemenson will be your race leader. He's got no teammate today, but that is not stopping him. Asbill will go up to P2 maybe. No, he's not. He's going to come out maybe in front of Daryl Slater. This is going to be close. Here comes Asbill. He's got the speed. Is he going to beat Daryl Slater to the end of the pit lane? Asbill does beat Daryl Slater. Asbill is up to P3. And Daryl Slater will not be happy about that. Sorry guys, I'm just eating my big arch. It's every time I'm streaming to tier 1, my tea always comes, or tea's made or whatever. Safety car is in this lap. We're going to go motorsport racing. So here we go. Ryan Clemenson leads to Thanos, to Asbill, Darrell Slater, Lucas, and then Reese. And I'm sure the Aston Martin of Ryan Clemenson won't make it an easy ride for the current world champion, knowing that his teammates in that battle. So Ryan Clemenson gets us underway, and that is a great restart. Here comes Darrell Slater on the back of Asbill, the McLaren driver, trying to cover him off. Lucas is there, so is Reese. Power 20 is on the back of him. Darrell Slater is going to try and go around the outside. He doesn't. He backs out. The McLaren locks up, going in towards Retafilo at turn 1. Reese has got to be patient here as he comes out of Retafilo, Hackmore, and Jeffy Boy go wheel to wheel, but it is Hackmore that goes to P9. There goes Joshua Bear, wheel to wheel once again with the kick Sauber, but it's the AMG that is just hedging his nose ahead. That is Lucas and Reese. Oh, the Mercedes has collided with the Williams of Darrell Slater. This is unbelievable. The Mercedes of Reese, the current world champion, is rounding down to P13. My goodness, Asbill picks up a time penalty. What happened there? 3-second time penalty. That is Reese that is through on Lucas. I'm not sure what Lucas has done there. Maybe slowed down to let him back through. I don't know, but Lucas and Reese are down the pecking order now. 5 seconds off P11. Ryan Clemenson leads. There is still 9 laps to go. And if anybody's capable of coming back through this grid, it is Reese in that Mercedes. So Ryan Clemenson leads to Thanos in P2. It was Power Twan that got the race victory in the Netherlands last week, and he is on for another race win here. He's penalty free. He's on for at least another podium. And Thanos as well. He's yet to be on the podium here in Formula 7 racing, but he is in with a spectacular opportunity. Ryan Clemenson in the Aston Martin leads the Monza Grand Prix. And Thanos will hunt him down at every opportunity. So he gets that DRS. And the rear wing is open, but I'm sure he'll be pretty patient with it. Down in towards Ascari. So the debut of Lethal Strike, Dr. Comic and Lucas has not gone to plan here in Tier 1. Reese has already made up a second to Banana. And he will get that DRS down towards Turn 1. This is going to be very interesting. Darrell Slater is going to try and make the move on Asbill, but here comes Thanos. Rear wing is wide open now. This is his opportunity to take the race lead off Ryan Clemenson. The Williams driver will go around the outside of the Aston Martin, side by side once more. But it is the Aston Martin that stays ahead of Thanos, and the Greek driver kept that really clean. That is what you want to see between two drivers fighting for the race victory. But it is Ryan Clemenson that stays ahead of the two Williams of Thanos and Darrell Slater. Darrell Slater could potentially cover off the attacks from behind and give his teammate a little bit of breathing space. Maybe we'll see that in the Williams garage come into fruition. And the Ferraris as well, who lead the Constructors' Championship down in P6, and the other one, who is also battling for the World Drivers' Championship, is out of the race. This is a great opportunity for Mercedes, for Aston Martin. So down in towards Ascari, that is Jeffy Boy that is through on Joshua Bear. In towards turn 7 and 8. And Jeffy Boy. Here comes Darrell Slater. And even with that penalty, Darrell Slater is going to go for the move on Thanos. And up to P2 for the Williams. Then the DRS train all the way down to Hackmore is still very active. Mirko gets the better exit out of Parabolica. That DRS will kick in. Thanos is coming back. And now here comes Asbill in the McLaren. Oh, they touch. The Williams and the McLaren trucks, they try and get back on the brake pedal, and that could have ended in disaster. Darrell Slater has had to run into the runoff area. 3-second time penalty. That might be removed at the end of the Grand Prix, but Power Twan is up to P4. Darrell Slater will be fuming about that, and Asbill having a come-in together with the Williams driver. But Power Twan is now definitely eyeing up this race victory. He is on the hard compound tyres. And so is Ryan Clemenson. So is Asbill. But Asbill has that time penalty. I think Power Twan is in the best position of any driver. He's on the freshest hard tyres, the same as Asbill, but Power Twan doesn't have a time penalty. This is brilliant. We don't know who's going to win this Grand Prix. Reese is only half a second behind Banana. Thanos picks up a time penalty now. Power Twan is basically in P2 and behind Ryan Clemenson, who's on them older hard tyres. And that is Jeffy Boy that goes off the track and makes a mistake. Reese is on the back of Banana as they go down in towards Parabolica. This is another move that the Mercedes driver needs to make, because these are vital points. That is Darrell Slater that is through on Power Twan. DRS enabled though for Power Twan. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. Rear wing open, but here comes Mirko, the Ferrari driver. And the McLaren of Hackmore is also making a move. We got two wide. And it is the Ferrari that goes later on the brakes, and he is up to P4. Power Twan just trying to stay out of trouble. Hackmore gets a good exit. What about Reese? He is through on Banana. Banana in the Alpine trying to fight with him, but he's got nothing in the tank. Here comes Hackmore on Power Twan as we go down in towards Stella Roger. The Sauber driver just has his nose ahead. And oh, that's a late move from Hackmore, and he does barge his way through on Power Twan. But Power Twan knows that he is penalty free. He just needs to keep it clean, but it's hard to do when the drivers are so aggressive around you. So Thanos on Ryan Clemenson. Remember, Ryan Clemenson is penalty free. Reese is just trying to pick up any sort of extra points now. So Thanos with that DRS to move into the lead on the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin knows that he's still theoretically in the lead. That is a yellow flag down in towards Rettifilo at turn 1. The Haas driver of Lucas is round, and then back onto the track we go. And Lucas, as we head in towards Seraglio, is purposely, and that will be a severe punishment. Lucas, please don't do that. Deadly Power Twan, Joshua Bear and Darrell Slater. And Darrell Slater is through on Joshua Bear. He's onto the runoff. Darrell Slater's into the runoff area. Picks up another time penalty. Joshua Bear is back through. And Lucas is back onto the throttle now. He's cleaned it up. Good stuff from Lucas. Oh, Power Twan's off the track. Joshua Bear barges through. And Power Twan, who just a lap ago was in the mix for the lead of this Grand Prix, is now down to P10. He has had everybody just so aggressive racing against him. I feel for Power Twan in this situation, actually. Ryan Clemenson is still in the lead with just over 4 laps to go. Yellow flags again. That is Lucas that retires in the pit lane. So that is the third of the debutants to retire in the pit lane. So here comes Thanos once again on Ryan Clemenson. Ryan's done a superb job at battling for the race lead, and Thanos is now into P1. Ryan Clemenson, Hackmore is on for a P2 finish at the moment. Reese is going to pick up another position on Darrell Slater. The Williams, and then Joshua Bear is just up the road. Ryan Clemenson in towards Della Rogia. Thanos gets through clean enough. We are on lap 24 of 27. And that is Banana through on Power Twan. Banana, I think at this point, has just said that enough is enough. And genuinely, I really feel for Power Twan here. There is Ryan Clemenson. Oh, he goes up the inside. of Ascari. What a move from the Aston Martin. That is how it's done. And this DRS train, there's not even 2 seconds separating the top 6. This is so close. And you can just see Reese in the distance coming down. And with all these drivers with penalties, I tell you what, Reese might even finish on the podium still. That would be something. Yellow flag, that is Jeffy Boy that's made a mistake out of Parabolica and the 2 Saubers. And yeah, I think I know where that is going. Yeah, Power Twan. He was on for a race victory and it all just crumbled away in front of him. So Hackmore on the back of Mirko. So Fanos does have slight front wing damage as well. And now here comes Mirko. So Ryan Clemenson on 47% old hards, Mirko on 35. So Mirko's now in prime position, but he does have a time penalty. And Reese is through on Darrell Slater, and he's now starting to catch up to that train. And when he does catch up to that train, he's potentially on for a P5 finish. So this is a pretty decent recovery here from Reese. But it's not the race win that Reese would have been hoping for, knowing that it was 3 points to gain on B. Wright. B. Wright is not here this evening, so it would have been great points for him. But B. Wright secretly in the background will be absolutely buzzing that Reese is not going to take maximum points from this Grand Prix. He will be absolutely delighted. Because if it had took maximum points, the gap would have been 8. And here comes Fanos once again on Ryan Clemenson. Ryan Clemenson will go later on the brakes. Fanos keeps it nice and tight to the chicane. And that is such good racing from them. And Jeffy Boy is through on Banana. Ryan Clemenson down to P2, but he's got no time penalty. Ryan Clemenson doesn't need to risk losing this race victory here. It's great points on the board for the constructors as well. So in towards the double Lesmos. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Ben. But as it stands, oh, the McLaren's round. Aspill's binned it into the wall. Coming out of the Lesmos, Aspill, who was on for a podium, has binned it into the wall on lap 26 of 27, and that's another position picked up. Reese in towards Ascari, chasing down his teammate of Joshua Bear, who probably will switch positions with Reese and give him them extra couple of points. And that is Ryan Clemenson up the inside of Parabolica, and the Aston Martin driver is into the lead. And as we go down onto the very final lap of what's been an immense Grand Prix, and Fanos will go for it. He wants to win it on track. Fanos in the Williams will go through the Aston Martin wheel to wheel. They do tangle. Ryan Clemenson does not want to throw away the race victory here. And if he opens up the door for Mirko and Hackmore, behind Mirko and Hackmore do tangle. And Hackmore just keeps it on track. Ryan Clemenson just needs to stay in front of Hackmore to take the race victory here. He will get DRS on Fanos. Hackmore is all over the back of Ryan Clemenson, who's on them older, harder tyre compounds. Remember, he stayed out. He had already pitted. Joshua Bear is trying to make the move on Deadly, and he is through on Deadly. Deadly comes back at him. And Deadly in the Aston Martin is back through on Reese. Reese is 1.7 behind Joshua Bear. Remember, Reese is on 87% old mediums. He's not going to be able to catch him, so he's not going to gain the positions that he wanted. And Joshua Bear, I don't think he's going to slow down to give his teammate extra points here. Mirko picks up another time penalty. He'll lose another position here. Here comes Mirko and Ryan Clemenson down towards Parabolica. Ryan Clemenson stays with Fanos. This is for the race victory. Fanos is going to do it on track, but it's going to be Ryan Clemenson that comes through to win the Italian Grand Prix. Hackmore takes P2. It's Deadly, Joshua Bear, Fanos, and then Reese takes P6. Mirko with the extra 3 seconds. Wow. I'm very surprised that Joshua didn't slow down there and give his teammate that extra position, knowing that he's fighting in that championship. Wow. So let's have a look at the final standings. There you have it on the top step. Ryan Clemenson with the victory. Who's that other Aston Martin on the podium? It wasn't a double Aston Martin podium, was it? Oh, Deadly got a podium in the Aston Martin. Wow, that's massive for the constructors. Absolutely massive. Ryan Clemenson, Dennis Deadly on the podium in Tier 1. He's crazy. Joshua Bear in P4, then Panos, then the Mercedes of Reese in P6. Mirko, Banana, Asbil, Deco, Jeffrey Boy, Powertran, then Lucas, Lethal Strike, Todd Joe, Bradders, Dr. Comic, Fanfinus, and then Epic OJ, who did not start. I need to put him in there. Fastest lap, I think, was Reese. It was, yeah. My driver of the day is going to go to Ryan Clemenson. Got the race victory. His first one as well. No punches, Nimble, I know. 87% mediums going on that last lap. Well. Whew, what a race. Right, I'm going to shoot off because it's 9 o'clock. I've got to be up for 4:30 for work. That was a really long race, and my tea's going cold as well. So, yeah, so I'm going to shoot off. Thank you all so much for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. Well done to all the drivers. Thank you to you guys for watching the race with me and talking to me and, you know, helping me out. Because it does sometimes get lonely when you're doing comms. I know it's exciting to watch it, but sometimes it's nice to interact with people. Thank you for always supporting this league as well. It means a lot, and I'll always support you guys back and give you guys somewhere to race. But yeah, have a great week, everybody, and I will see you on Wednesday for Realistic. And if you need anything, just drop me a message. I'm in work Monday, Tuesday, but then I'm off Wednesday, Thursday, so I am free. But yeah, thank you guys. Take care and have a good one.